So, hey guys, today we have an incredibly talented singer, songwriter, and wonderful musician with us, Amrapali Shinde. Thank you so much for being here with us, and I really appreciate you being here. So, how are you doing? How have the last couple months of lockdown been for you?
Thank you so much, Ananya. Firstly, I need to tell you this. I have to give a huge shout out to Her Tempo for creating a space like this for women. I think it's so much required. It is so much needed, at least for a women musician in the industry. But the question you asked, how this lockdown has been, it's been honestly really hard, really hard. I wouldn't lie. A lot of it's so much of you're going through so much of emotional trouble, physical trouble, family trouble, career trouble, and this pandemic, trying to keep yourself safe, trying to keep your family safe. So it's not really been a great year, but I have a feeling like things have started settling a little bit,
Mhm.
but I still wouldn't give this year that much credit that it deserves. So no, it wasn't a great year at all.
Agree with you, and I completely sympathize. This year has definitely been very challenging for everyone in a lot of ways. But you know what I find insane is that in the middle of the pandemic, you've released a beautiful song. And I've got to tell you, I cannot stop listening to Me Amor. This song really is, it's packed with so many surprises. And it's actually like it's bilingual as well. Like there's Hindi parts, there's English parts, and so, yeah, to all the
Yes.
listeners, definitely please go check that out. Congratulations on this release. It's so fantastic. I
Thank you
really
so
love the
much.
song, especially like when you
Thank
get to
you
the
so much.
chorus. Yeah, like your voice just resonates. You have like so much like insane control and like pitch modulation, and it's just, I die. It's so good. And like the mixing, engineering, your voice, it's like all the elements of the song are really spectacular. So, congratulations on this
I'm
release.
so happy. I'm so glad that you liked what I did. It came from um, a very vulnerable state. So last month I was in Sakleshpur in November, in October. I went to Sakleshpur for a month because the last song that I released was 2 years back, and as a musician, I haven't created anything of my own from the past 2 years. And I recently got married, and things have just been so monotonous because you're newlywed and you're a musician. You're trying to understand the new family as well as you're trying to do things with your art. It wasn't just happening. And in August, shit really broke the ceiling because it was so bad for me, at least emotionally. They came to a point where I wouldn't say depressed, but yes, I kind of closed myself from the world, and I was off social media because I was looking that so many people are putting so much content all the time, and it made me feel so bad as a creator, that I'm not putting enough. Am I good enough? Am I proving myself enough, right? Because one thing as a woman, at least, it's that we're always trying to prove ourselves. We're always trying to prove ourselves that yes, we are doing our job, we are trying to create, at least as a musician. So last, like when I went to Sakleshpur, I went with the mind that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go stay there, do some songwriting, because I'm a person who can't do my creative process is not confined within four walls. For me, it's outside that four walls, right? And when I'm creating, I can't sit in my bedroom and bloody hell, I can't write a song. I need to be out there, right? I need to be out in nature, really feel inspired to write. Um, so when I went to Sakleshpur, I started writing, and I met some amazing people. I had a breakthrough during this trip. I understood so much about myself, and I ended up writing 5 songs,
Oh my God.
which of course you'll be listening to over a couple of months. I'm releasing another one this month. So I went, I composed, and Me Amor was about me and my husband. Of course,
Oh.
since the lockdown has started, we're newly married, and to be very honest, we don't have time, we don't have that privacy to really be with each other, and the only time we get is in the night. right? When we go to sleep. That's the only time, that's our time. So me and Amor is a lot about, the kind of time I wanted to spend with my husband, but I couldn't.
That's
So
so
like I
cute.
said, yeah, I went to this trip, and it was a life-changing trip for me, to be very honest. A very, very eye-opening trip. I had a breakthrough. It was amazing. So now I'm back. I'm like a little more fresh. My creative instincts are back. I am back, so that's great.
Congratulations. Yeah, first of all, like, congratulations on your wedding. That's incredible news. And yeah, it's so cool to see that your inspiration for this wonderful song actually came from being with your husband. So that's a really, really wonderful, source, because definitely love is one of the greatest motivators to create. So, it's really cool when you
Absolutely.
give your music that sort of strong backstory. So that really
Yeah.
shines through. I think that's definitely a part of what makes this song so great. And yeah, I'd really like to touch upon what you said about like creators feeling that sort of pressure when you see everyone else doing it. And I guess it
Yeah.
definitely, social media does play a role, and it does put in that sort of pressure. And like you said, it's definitely
Yeah.
upon like female musicians as well. So, do you
Yeah.
like, since the time that you like experienced that pressure till you got back on your feet and you were able to like really get back to your own zone? Do you have like any advice now that you're looking back on? Maybe because I know so many people, including myself, who definitely we feel that pressure that, oh, as creators we've got to keep putting things out. Firstly, what should be our
True.
motivation to put things out? Should it just be that like, oh, other people are asking for content, so I should put it out? Or should we wait, or should we like have like a fixed schedule in mind? So what sort of plan or procedure do you think works out when you're a creator and you're like trying to share your things with the world?
So let's get this thing first straight, right? We are creators.
Mhm.
We're not people who have 9 to 5 job and we are told what to do, right? We do things, we create things, and for creation to happen, your environment is so important. The space that you're in and the people you surround with is so important. Number one, I'd say stay away from people who are bringing thoughts to you which tells you that, oh, are you putting enough? Oh my god, you should do this. Oh my god, you should get like a marketing people. Oh, your profile is this thing, you should do this. No, you don't have to do anything. Please, like, keep those people away from you, like, as far as possible, because I know what happened just a couple of months back before I went to Sakleshpur. People are looking at my Instagram profile and they're like, oh, you're a artist, you shouldn't share your personal shit on your Instagram. You shouldn't put political stuff. You should put songs which are trending on whatever it is. But I don't want to sing a song which is just released. I am not that person. I would like take a song by Ella Fitzgerald and I would want to sing, Dream a Little Dream of Me. I don't want to sing Dua Lipa. I don't want to sing Billie Eilish. I want to sing what's me, right? So people always have opinions, right? And I think it's really hard when, even for me, it might sound easy when I say don't be too hard on yourself. But trust me, it is hard to not be hard on yourself.
It is.
Don't be hard. And it's a process, it's a flow. Creating is a flow, right? When you're creating, you need to be in the flow, you need to be in the right environment, surround yourself with the right people, right? You need to be inspired, see what inspires you, right? If going out, sitting in a cafe inspires you to write,
Mhm.
do that. If taking a trip like a solo trip inspires you to create music, do that. So creating is such a thing that we don't really have like a rule book that we go by, right? As a musician or any creator, not just a musician, an artist or an actor, we don't have a rule book. We just do it. It comes from the heart, right? So there's no rule book. Everybody has a different process. So for me, the process was just get out and like have my own space. It might be something else for somebody else. So trust your instinct, trust the environment you're in, and trust yourself, right? And let every other noise just like end it there. Don't listen to
Mhm.
them.
That's beautiful advice. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, speaking of inspiration, let's talk about what makes you the incredible musician that you are. So, I know that you went to the Swarnabhuvi Musical Academy, which is one of the most prestigious music institutions in India. But yeah, tell me about, like right from you were the time that you were a child, what were the things that drew you towards music?
All right. So, luckily for me, I come from a family which has a lot of artists, but nobody has really pursued it as a career. Everybody did it as a passion, but they were really good, like really good. And that support, that environment of art was always there for me. So I've been singing since I was 3 years old, 4 years old,
My God.
but professionally, I started like I knew that this is what I want to do when I was in ninth grade, and that was the first time I even got into a competition. And I remember that it was an inter-school competition, and there were only two musicians in my school. One was me, like a singer, like one was me, one was my best friend. He was a guitarist, and my teacher came to us and she's like, only one of you can go. So you guys decide who want to go. And of course, as you all, I mean, of course, musicians have a big ego. Okay, every musician has an ego. Okay, I
There's no
have like an
denying
ego.
that.
Everybody has their ego, at least as an artist. And I told my friend, I was like, listen, you're a guitarist, Abhi, what will you go sing? I'm a singer, let me go sing. He's like, no, you can play guitar and I can sing also, so it's a dub thing for me. So my teacher kind of figured that we were fighting, so she was like, okay, tomorrow both of you are gonna audition, and whoever makes it goes and competes. So I like practiced whatever I was singing, and I went and we sang. And of course, and we were best friends, mind you, this other guy. So the teacher, of course, chose me. She
Oh,
chose me, like I ended up going and competing, but till today I don't speak to my friend, like, because
oh.
after that experience we
Mhm.
stopped talking completely. So that's when I went, just the day before the actual competition, the big national inter-school competition. I had a high grade fever, and my voice was like screwed, and I'm drinking hot water all night, I'm taking care of myself, and the next day I go and I see that I'm singing Miley Cyrus. Okay, so I grew up listening to Hannah Montana, and
Oh, we got this.
I
Yeah.
sang the climb. Sorry, not the climb. I
Oh,
sang Butterfly Fly Away,
oh, beautiful song.
from the Hannah Montana movie.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, that movie was so popular.
But then, like, it was such a popular. Hannah Montana was like, she like really inspired me because to start playing the guitar as well. So it's because of her I started playing guitar. Um, and then I went to the competition, and I'm seeing there are people who are coming and singing Hallelujah. There are people coming and singing AC/DC, and I'm here singing, Hannah Montana. But I was just 13. But
You do
when
you,
I got
girl.
onto this,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, you do you. I mean, don't give a shit about like what the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, so I went, I sang, and I got off the stage, and I was like, okay, fine. I know I'm not gonna win it because there are people here who are singing like greatest songs or whatever. But
Mhm.
then I left. Like I finished singing and I left, and while I'm just running out, like a friend from Piche comes, and he's like, Amrapali, listen, you won. You need to go back on the stage quickly,
Mhm.
quickly. I'm like, wait, what just happened? I sang Hannah Montana. How can the judges choose me? But then when I went on the stage,
Mhm.
they told me that you were the only girl who came on the stage. You sang and played guitar, okay? Whereas other people had an accompany guitarist or whatever with them. You interacted with the audience because singing is just not singing, right? If you're a performer, it comes as a whole, right? Your
Mhm.
interaction with the audience, how you present yourself on the stage. And lucky for me, I've never been shy. Even as a child, when guests used to come home, I used to go to my mother and tell them, Mama, listen, I want to sing in front of the guests, but don't tell them I came and told you. So, just like do a little bit of drama and push me in front of them and like tell them, come on, Bobby, sing, sing. And then I would sing. So I've never really been a shy person.
Mhm.
So ever since, but the feeling of being on the stage, right? The feeling of being felt important, even if it was just for 5 minutes, right? I think somewhere all of us want to be felt important, or
Mhm.
feel the whole thing of validation, right?
Yeah.
That thing just made me feel so powerful then, right? Being on the stage singing made me feel so powerful, and that's when I knew that, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And that's how it just started. Yeah, then I started competing in college festivals and stuff, and now I'm here. Yeah.
That's a beautiful, beautiful backstory. It just goes to show that, no matter what you're singing, if you have talent and if you work hard, it doesn't matter whether you're doing AC/DC or whether you're doing Hannah Montana, because ultimately it's just, at the end of the day, it comes down to talent and hard work. And you clearly are
Yeah.
someone, you have the natural talent and
Yeah.
you work hard. And that's really, really inspiring. And I definitely think that you're not alone in like having this sort of an experience, because I know that a lot of women, especially like when we were growing up, who were our inspirations? It was Beyonce, right? It was Hannah Montana, it was Selena Gomez. Like these are the people that whose music we grew up with, that we saw on Disney Channel, that we really appreciate that. And I think for little boys back then, maybe it was AC/DC, it was Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I
Yeah.
think in a lot of places, like even I seen this a lot in like schools and colleges as well, where like the boys will have their own band. They'll see each other, like one will play guitar, one will play drums, and they'll pick it up. And so for boys, I feel like it's very easy for them to start getting into school bands and like just like play out their rock sounds and their metal sounds, and that's totally fine. But I think
Yeah.
there's also that culture of like isolating the women, and that's why like you might have felt before actually going on stage, you might have felt that, oh, these guys are doing AC/DC, how can I compare to this? And a lot of women feel this way, they feel inadequate because of their own interests and tastes. Like this is insane to me, because men never feel ashamed of the songs that they listen to, and no one should have to feel ashamed of their musical taste you
Yeah.
know
Absolutely.
and it's
See,
crazy
it's the
that like
same thing.
men never feel ashamed of it, and women are constantly like they're just doubting themselves all the time. And I don't understand where that like systemic, thing is it
Yeah,
that
the
it's
whole
rising
point
in.
is that we already think that we're lesser to men, right? So when we start thinking of ourselves that way, then how do you expect people around you to treat you better than what you think,
Mhm.
right? So it's the same thing that boys are stronger than girls. Boys cannot cry, but a girl cries. So if a boy cries, he's put as, oh, stop crying like a girl, right? It comes from that whole it's a very ingrained system problem,
Yeah.
that um, a girl I know girls who are hardcore metal fans, and they love being in mosh pits,
Mhm.
but the same girls come to me and they're like, oh my god, how can you like Hannah Montana? The same girl comes and tells me, oh my god, why do you put so much makeup on? The same girls are, so I think it's about the time is gone, that where women talk about each other behind their backs, that time is gone.
Mhm.
Like, let's
And
grow
now we
out of
talk
it.
to
Let's
each other in
create
our
that.
faces. Now we're just
Yeah,
insulting
let's
each other
create.
to our faces. It doesn't. Wait.
Exactly. So it's and we are giving men that chance to talk about it. It's not that men have done an in-depth study about what music women like. No, it's women against women, which gives men to talk about us entire as a whole clan of women.
Yeah.
So we need to stop thinking of ourselves as little
Mm.
and start thinking of us as equals to whatever it is. Even a man can like Hannah Montana. I know men
Absolutely.
who like Miley Cyrus, and I think Miley
Absolutely.
Cyrus is a badass. I'm sorry, she is amazing.
She
Like,
is, no doubt.
she doesn't care, she doesn't think about what other things. She is so true to herself, and
Mhm.
right now I just saw her Rolling Stone interview, and she is always the same. She is, she is just inspiring women around the world, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to just, because you have a very expensive taste in music,
Mhm.
doesn't mean that my taste is anything lesser. Music is music. Music is
Exactly.
universal, right?
Exactly.
Music is
Exactly.
universal. So all this is just, it's very juvenile, and
Mhm.
it's time to get over it. Like, I feel so.
Perfectly articulated.
Did I answer your question? Right?
You more than answered it. That was so perfectly articulated. That was just like you got inside my head and like voiced all of my thoughts on this exactly. And you know, you met and like it's so beautiful because it's not Miley is not just great because of the work that she puts out, which is wonderful, but also for the fact that she inspired women like you to take up guitar and to take up music. And that's what's so
Yeah,
inspiring to me. And then now you are a musician of your own, with influences from Ella Fitzgerald, with influences from Miley, and with influences of your own, of yourself and your own style and background. And like you said, I think, you know, when somebody tries to like put a gender on different genres of music, you're doing a disservice to both men and women, because now both are feeling the
exactly.
pressure to adapt. So if you're a girl that likes metal, you do you. If you're a girl that likes, you know, pop or R&B, or if you're a boy that likes pop R&B, basically what whoever you are, there is going to be some song that you like. I haven't met a single person in the world who's like, I don't like music. I don't know if people like that exist. I really think there's something
I
out
do.
there for everyone.
I met a person and I asked them, I'm a musician. Oh, I don't like music. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to
What?
talk to you. Like, please.
Like no kind of
Like,
music
go.
at all? Wow.
No, he doesn't listen to music. And like, the only music he listens to is whatever he's playing. If he goes into a cafe and there's music playing, that's it. But he does not listen.
Uh-huh.
I was quite shocked. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
which breed are you? Like, which planet are you from? Like, how can like nobody like music?
Yeah.
That's not about liking music, right? It's about it's about how much music plays, what kind of role it plays in your life, right?
Well
Because
said,
for
yeah.
some of them, music is something that reminds them of their hometown
Mm,
or their previous love.
mm,
Music is something that helps a lot of people wake up in the morning. Music is something that gives somebody an encouragement to be better. Whatever it is, music plays just more than singing and instruments and all that. It's so much more valuable to human emotion,
mhm.
right? And we don't think about it that in depth
Yeah.
about music.
Perfectly said. You know, there you go. Like, there's all different kinds of people in the world. And I think as long as we try to take the effort to understand each other better and not ridicule each other for our music tastes and for our music interests, and just support each other in whatever we want to do, I think
Yeah,
that's just the way to go. Yeah. And let's not be like, let's not have an attitude about like our music interests. I think that's a very stupid and juvenile thing to do, like you mentioned.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love listening. I'm 24 and I love listening to Indian classical music. Bhimshan Joshi to the sitar maestro. Because my granddad was a folk artist. I love folk music, and there is so much even in Indian music that we youngsters choose to avoid listening to, or avoid talking to, or avoid even exploring because it's not cool. But no, music is not supposed to be cool. Music is about bringing culture into existence, right? Folk music is something that has been coming from the past 500 years, 200 years. And folk music doesn't really have a particular singer or a writer. It's just basically something that's been written whatever years back, and it's just being passed on, right? Like I said, music is not cool. Music is music. Connect with it. Connecting, we forget connecting, and only connect in, I think humans know these days, is how to connect on Instagram and
Yeah.
Facebook and whatever. you know so connect with music. Art is something that needs connection. It's more than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, perfectly said. And I love the fact that you brought up like folk music, and it's definitely a favorite of mine as well. And you're right, it's a story that's been passed on through generations, and it's very, very rich. And you know, speaking on like connecting with music, we also, I think we need to acknowledge as artists that music is an expensive hobby. You got to pay for the instrument and its maintenance. You got to pay for lessons. So you got to pay for like exams, competitions, all of those things. And a lot of people have, taken up instruments during the lockdown, as something to just give them relief and keep them sane. And what sort of advice would you offer to them as a musician and as a guitarist on, learning music and growing in music on a budget?
Okay, so I am a person who's never learned music. I did go to Swarnabhumi for 2 months course, but I ended up getting jaundice. So I had to come back halfway. So I couldn't really finish my course completely. So to be very honest, whatever I am singing, whatever I am today, as a musician is what everything is self-learned. I have never taken classes. I have never been trained under a big guru or big teacher. YouTube, guys, is your savior. Like YouTube is my go-to. Like we live in an era of internet. Everything is given to us. It's on a silver platter. All you have to do is just bring that interest and go and put that effort in typing how to learn how to play guitar, or how to how to work on my vocal range, how to work on my breathing skills. It's there, everything is there. I mean, YouTube is your biggest friend. And if you're looking at learning, yes, internet is your best, and it's in budget. Music schools honestly are for people who don't know A to Z about music, but want to learn, to be very honest, I shed 3 lakhs for just 2 months course in Swarnabhumi. It was
Oh my
expensive.
God.
It is equal to engineering college and doing your first year of engineering.
Yeah.
That's how much that money goes. So I was seeing I wanted to go to Berkeley School of Music, and I saw the fees is what, almost 1 crore for your entire
Jesus.
course. And I
My
mean,
God.
first of all, we don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Okay, we get paid 5,000, 10,000 for a bloody gig. Okay, and then you are like planning to do a course which is for 1 crore. So,
Yeah.
so at least engineering, not even maybe engineering also these days. How many engineers are getting jobs out there? Everybody's losing job. Everybody's trying to improvise. Everybody's trying to be up to date with the technology. Everybody's trying to surround themselves with more information about what's coming out in the future. So coming back to doing your budget as a musician in terms of learning is best is internet. Music schools can help, but if you're ready to shed that kind of money, please go for it. But I would suggest that instead of going and finding a teacher, find a mentor,
Mm.
right? A mentor, I think, will help you grow as a musician way more than a teacher would help you, right? And
Mhm.
for me, I am so lucky in so many ways. The main reason of me being the reason why I'm here today is because I had women behind me support me and push me. I am so lucky to have such kind of support from women. That includes my mother. I have come across such amazing women musicians. For example, Kalyani is another musician. Like I think I even spoke to you about her. She's
Yeah,
an
yeah. I've
independent
heard of music
artist
of
and a
that.
rolling artist. Um, I like so Kalyani was one person who she's really senior to me, right? But she's been a mentor in so many ways, not only just music, but about music business, about how to make your way through in a space which has so many men, and putting out coming out there as a women musician. So I'm really lucky that way, to have women support me. But it's not the same with a lot of people. A lot of people even don't even have a family support. They don't have support from whatever the society to pursue what they want. It's
Yeah.
really screwed up. But I think no war is being won without a fight. So
Mhm.
if you really love it so much, then fight for it. And we live in an era where people can't really push us down or beat us up for pursuing what we love. Thank God for laws which are a little more stronger for women these days. So if you really love it, then fight for it, and you'll always find ways. If you love it, you'll find ways, with the money, without money. you know
That's
yeah.
beautiful advice. You're absolutely right. And yeah, it's wonderful that you brought up the subject of having a mentor and about having so many female influences behind you that are pushing you to achieve things. And it's really beautiful that you mentioned this because ultimately, if we like take a deep dive, I think as audience members, as outsiders to the music industry, when we look inside, especially like if we focus on like Bollywood music, I definitely can never shake the feeling that it's extremely gendered. And I think that's because of that's a reflection of like what's happening within the music business and within the music industry and the mindset of those artists. And music
True.
definitely has an insane amount of influence. I know it does on me because I know that like if I'm listening to hip hop, I'll walk a different way. That's just the sort of I like bob my hair a little more. I don't know.
True.
It just has it's very very influential, and I know that for a fact that a lot of people are heavily influenced by the music that they listen to. Their choices and like the way they dress or like different things, different aspects of their personality is shaped by the music they listen to. And
Very true.
so when you see a lack of women in music, or when you see like in Bollywood when you only see women singing love songs or you only see them singing item songs, it do you feel like it's setting a standard that oh like women just don't sing holistic songs about like pursuing something, or like going after something, or like just a chill happy road trip kind of song? Like do you see that niche for women just branching out a little bit, or do you even see women becoming sound engineers, becoming music producers anytime soon?
Absolutely. Yesterday, I went to record my third single, which I'm putting out this month. I went to a studio here in Bangalore, and to my surprise, it was a women sound engineer who did my entire session. I
Oh
even
wow.
acknowledged her. I told her, I am so happy to see a woman in this space,
Mhm.
right? There is something that I have been wanting to create for a very long time. I wanted to do a music festival which is run by women for women, all right?
Oh, that's lovely.
Where the entire lineup is women artists. Your sound engineers are women, your bouncers are women, people who are behind the bar are women,
Mhm,
everybody's women. But of course, anybody and everybody is welcome to come and be part of it or
mhm,
see the show. But it's basically run by women, right?
mhm.
The reason why I wanted to do it was because there are a lot of music festivals in India, which, if you see, the women ratio to men is
Oh, it's
very less.
deplorable. Yeah.
And when you tell them this, when you point out to them that, do you see the difference or between the men and the women, like the number of representatives? And they're like, oh, yes, we do, but it's just that women do not apply, or they do not there's not many representatives who come forward to perform. I'm like, no, if you are trying to create a space for equality, you need to go as a space which is putting out new musicians. It's your job to go and find people like that. Okay, because a lot of times it contacts get lost, or
Yeah.
for example, if I'm trying to get in touch with XYZ music festival,
Mm.
but somewhere I'm not able to connect with them. I don't know where to connect. I don't know if there's a contact number, email ID. I don't know how to connect. So it really becomes the role of organizations, or a role of a community like this, to reach out to women to come and be part of them. You can't just sit there and expect like, oh, women will come to us. No, why? Do you
Yeah,
wait for men to
exactly.
come to? No, you don't. You just call out people. You call Pratikuad, you'll call Lifafa, you'll call whoever, right? And the number of women representative is so bad. And I see the same women again and again, again and again, again and again. Like, we have no other women out there in like trying to make it in India. I see the same 10 women who are there all the time in the same music festival. And honestly, I'm sick of it. Sick of it because I'm sick. Like, fine, we've heard them enough. Where are new people?
Yeah.
right? I was applying for this music festival, which is happening in Berlin next year. And I see that the contract is written very clearly. We are looking at 50% women musician, sorry, 40% men musician, 40% women, and the rest 20% they've given it to the whole queer community or whatever they want to identify themselves as. They want to give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're so clear about the kind of equation they want to have in a festival space or a creative space, a space where youngsters are coming. You are creating that space. You are creating that whole men impact. You are creating, if you want that kind of equality, then stop talking about it and then go make it happen. Don't sit there and tell that we
Amen.
have to come to you,
Amen.
you know,
Absolutely.
and I'm just so sick. I have decided I'm sorry, I am not gonna apply for any of music festival that happens in India anymore. If they want, they'll reach out to me, just like they reach out to any other artist. You know, so
Absolutely.
I think organizers out there really need to step up their game. And if they're talking about being youth centric, because music festivals are for youth, if you're talking about youth, about being the whole the voice, being the change maker, then be the change maker. Don't just talk about it. You know, it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off.
Yeah. It
But
should
that
piss
is the
all of us
reality,
off.
right? And I feel the 10 women also that perform in these musical festivals should stop doing that and tell them we need more women, otherwise we don't want to do it. See, even if women don't stand up for women, then who will stand up for us, right? I don't expect men
Amen.
to come and stand up for us. They don't know
Yeah.
shit we go through. I'm sorry. And the whole fact that men come and tell, oh, we are feminists. No, you're not. Like, like stop saying like we're feminists, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just wrong. You know, if you want to stand up, women got to stand up for each other. So I have decided I don't want to ever reach out to music festivals. They reach out to me, and it's not because I'm not capable of it. I know what my capability is, but are you ready to have me on that stage? See, every women musician that I see on stages like this are either very good looking, they are thin,
Mm.
they put on a show. But
Yeah.
when it comes to men, they look at the music, they look at the songwriting, they think they look at the performance. But for a woman, it's just about how she looks, and that's why they want to go see her. So
Yeah.
women know too. Women are not dumb. Women know too. So yeah, I hope I answered that
Yes. Oh
correctly.
my gosh. Everything that you just said are things that like I literally think about all the time and it pisses me off. And I hope that like I think that's what we need. And since you mentioned Berlin, like this is actually it's beautiful. I heard that, in Germany, they are starting to print out pictures of Clara Schumann, who is a brilliant composer. They printed her on the
Yeah,
money. They respect their female musicians. And if you look at like our culture, we've had no shortage of female musicians in time. Like the Indian culture of like Hindustani music, Carnatic music has had tons of incredible female artists that just go under the radar, and I don't know why. We celebrate like Indian Joshi, we
absolutely.
celebrate so many like wonderful Indian artists, but when it comes to the
Yeah,
women, where are they? We'll have like Sanidhi Chauhan, we'll have Shreya Ghosha, we'll have Usha with the bus. That's too much. That's too quota over.
that's all it is, you know. It is so sad because see, when you talk about Indian music having women, there is Kavita Krishnamurti, there is we have Rekha Bharadwaj, who I truly admire. Like she's one of the most greatest singers, maybe after Lata Mangeshkar and Asha Bhosle. Right, she comes on that thing, but we keep hearing the same thing about what Sunil Chauhan, Neha Kakkar, and so on and so forth. Like I said, it's just a rotation,
Yeah.
right? It's about it keeps going. It's just like I said, in music festivals, they have 10 women, and the 10 women are represented from the past 10 years. The same women are coming. You know,
Yeah.
um, so I think we need to really figure out what we want to hear from women. I see women singing. We talk about women being like, I not idolize women being sexualized in item number, but a woman is going and singing it. But you're fighting about it, right? If you stand up so much, and please don't sing. why even up for somebody who's saying that Munni Badnaam hui, darling tere liye, why, like what, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Firstly, we need to create that atmosphere of respect
Mm-hmm.
for women. We need to create that atmosphere that women are not objects.
Mm-hmm.
Women are more than that.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, women are just not women. We are nurturers. We are somebody who brings up family tomorrow. We are the future of your bloody country.
Yeah.
Okay, I completely believe
Absolutely.
that
Amen to that.
future is female. Okay, for me, future is female.
Yes.
Okay, look at
Amrapali,
like
please just become president already. I will so vote for you. I love everything that you're saying. Yeah. I
yeah, because I've had it enough. Even today, I deal with, you know, from time to time, I deal with so many sexist comments. You know, like I say, I'm a musician, and musicians come to me, male musicians come to me like, "Oh, it's easy for you. You're married. Your husband will take care of your finances." I am sorry. What?
oh
Like, so
my
you
God.
think I'm a woman musician and I'm depending on my husband to take care of me? Like,
Jesus.
no, I have my own troubles. Just to be a musician, just to even stand up for it is a fucking task. You know, and you think finance is another issue. No, it's not.
Yeah.
We can get more money than you guys, like, you know, but the thing is that you guys are given more importance as space which comes from male,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've been called to so many parties like to sing where they want a female singer. Why? Because there are male men who come to the parties and they want to see a female singer on the stage or to do whatever it is, to shag off, or I don't know.
What the hell?
You know, so I have been in spaces like that where they think women are just there and they have a huge support system in terms of finance. No, I don't want to be defined my success to be defined by my husband's money or my husband's support. It's not that. Support doesn't come that way. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah, you're
So
so right.
it's a very hard space, you know, because
Yeah.
as a musician, as a woman, I come home at 2 o'clock in the morning because my gig gets over only at 12, and then I have to eat food. Then I have to network. It is so important for me to network because
Mm-hmm.
at gigs is a place where I get to meet new people, to get network, to get connects, so
Mm-hmm.
that my work keeps continuing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I get, you know, remarks like, "Oh, you should just finish your work and come back home." Sorry, but my work is not just me singing and coming. My work is beyond that, right? We live in a world where we do everything ourselves. I'm not just talking about women musicians, but musicians in general. We do our own marketing, we do our own recording, we do our own sales, we do our own makeup, we do everything ourselves. And to think that being a musician is just going singing and coming back is wrong. I have to network. Networking is so important because it is going to give me jobs in the future, right? I need to meet the right people. I need to be at the right place. And coming to me and telling me that, "Oh, you have to be home at this time, that time," please don't talk to me. That's what I tell people. Please don't talk to me. Because if that's where you're gonna come from, like that space that women need to be home before this time, that time, and you know, this is something I just literally faced, been facing this entire month. You know, trying to prove that being musician is just not singing. It's much more than that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. And don't you feel like the field is so tilted economically, socially? Like, ek to you have music institutions like Berkeley and all, which are charging exorbitantly high fees, and then
Yeah.
you're not, when you actually make it as a career, you're not receiving that due compensation, because there aren't a lot of guidelines in place within the entertainment industry to actually
True.
like pay musicians for all the effort that you're putting in. For example, like, if you are an artist that is doing taking care of everything, right, from sales to the actual production of the song to your performances, and if you like keeping track of all of that is insane. Like, you would need an entire
Yeah.
village to handle that sort of responsibility. But
Exactly.
yeah, but you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
So I think the compensation is nowhere nearly enough. So it doesn't make sense. Just say, like, when you like speak of like the engineering college situation, like engineering college make sure that like jo bhi placement milega usme like thora to like you'll be able to make back all the money that you put in
Be able to pay
your
your
application.
student loan or whatever loan it is, right?
Yeah.
Uh, See, I think, we're not even asking you to pay us more. Okay, we're just asking you to be thoughtful. We are asking you to be considerate, especially about our sex, because we are women and it's harder. If somebody out there says women have it easier, it's not. I've heard a lot of men come to me and tell, oh, you women can just make it happen. You can sleep with people, you can
My
whatever,
God.
sexualize yourself and get your shit done. But no, I want to work hard. I want to
Yeah.
achieve my success by doing the right things.
Mhm.
And whatever it is, I'm just saying, give us the credit that we deserve at the end of the day.
Mhm.
That's more than the support we can even do it. You don't have to give us money. You don't have to listen to our song. Just accept that we are women who are musicians and we're trying to make it just like everybody else. We don't have to sleep our way through. We don't have to sexualize ourselves to gain more followers. We don't have to whatever it is to be successful. Okay, hard work is what we want to choose the path, and we will go through it just like a male musician would. Will a male musician go sleep around to get successful? No, he wouldn't, because
Yeah.
nobody would even think that way, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, coming to that, we just give us our due credit, right? That's all.
Yeah.
That's like the more than enough support that we can even ask for.
Amrapali, honestly, I salute you because it cannot be easy when you are a professional working hard to get your job done, and men are out here thinking that, oh, like this is, right from you going for gigs because men want to see female performers, or when men say that, like, oh, you can sleep with whoever you want, that is so hurtful and so degrading. And,
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of men will say that, oh, but like women are also aware of it and they are okay, they've accepted this deal, and that is a
yeah.
very, very problematic part because, when we create
Women do
this
not
sort of,
accept it until and unless it's become a majburi. Like, you know what I mean? Majburi,
yeah,
like majburi mein karna padta hai na. That is when women do it. Otherwise, you think women want to choose that way out? No.
hmm,
Women are all, like I said, always trying to prove themselves to the world.
yeah,
Stop trying to do that. Like, we are so much more than what world deserves from us, and we amount of work that a man can do as well. We can put in same amount, same hours of effort, same commitment, same sweat and blood into our work, just like men. Please treat us the same way and give us the opportunities as well.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Perfectly said, perfectly voiced. And I certainly hope that, if whoever is listening to this is definitely not on the onus of just like like people in the music business. I think it's the responsibility of everybody to, on the way that we should actually like alter our perspectives, and the way, give musicians and give female musicians specifically the respect that they deserve, because clearly you're working so hard and there's so many more female musicians,
Yeah,
whether, and like just women in music, not just the musicians, like you said, the sound engineers and the producers, so many people who are working so hard, who are so professional, and they should get
yeah,
their due credit. There's no reason why they shouldn't. You're so right.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, so I absolutely appreciate you being so vocal about your thoughts and really saying the important things that we really need to hear. I really, really appreciate that. So
yeah,
yeah, let's
yeah,
like stepping back and from like the intense, the intensity. While it's important,
yeah.
Amrapali, you're a solo artist. Like we've seen, I know you're a brilliant, brilliant one at that. But have you ever
Yeah.
performed with a group, with a lot of diversity? And what's your advice on being notified, like noticed in a band or an ensemble sort of environment?
I have worked with music producers, to bands, to session artists. I've collaborated with folk artists. I've had an amazing share of my, like where I've worked with whole ensemble and stuff like that. The best way to connect yourself, to put yourself out there, is to be around the right people at the right time. Okay, and it is so important, okay, that you are at the right place also at the right time, right? So what I used to do was that a couple of years back when Humming Tree was open, I remember there was a phase in my life before I got married where 6 months in I think 2017, 16, I was at Humming Tree all the bloody time. I like that was my second home. Like you'd see me at every gig from Monday to Sunday, I'm there. And that's where I met a lot of other musicians. That's when people got to know, oh, there's a girl called Amrapali and she's a musician. Let's go check her out. So it's about being there, just being present around all these other important people. Even if you're just there quietly, they will themselves come and make a conversation with you. So how to get notified? Be at the right time, right place with the right people. Okay, don't go to a shitty concert, like not concert, I would say. Don't go to um, um, like what would I say, a shitty environment and expect to be noticed. Okay, I even did that. I'll tell you. I was in Bombay. I was living there for like almost 2 years, and when I was in Bombay, I was invited to a Bollywood. One of the parties which was produced like which was not what am I saying which was hosted by one of a very famous music director. And I went there, and I thought, oh, this is the right time, this is the right place to be around big people. But no, it was not. Okay, everybody's selfish. Everybody's come there just to basically party, and though have such a power in their field to help another person, they've just come there and they've come to chill with, and they'll go back home. They will still use the same people they've been using from the past 10 years. Okay, so you need to also be in an environment which is open to accepting you, or to open to at least having a conversation with you, open to at least acknowledge, or acknowledge the fact that you're a musician, as well as uh, where they'll go and check you out. Like, they'll be like, okay, tell me your Instagram handle or tell me your YouTube name. Where can I see your music? Be around space where people are open to at least coming and accepting the fact that you're a musician, and there is something that not maybe they can do, but at least listen to your music overall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful advice. Thanks for that. That definitely it shows how much, strength and perseverance it actually takes to make it in this industry. But it's really admirable
Yeah.
that you did that, day in, day out at Hummingbird. It can't have been easy. So really respect you for doing that. And yeah, so just as a final question, just to wrap up, thank you so much for, being so vocal and being so helpful. I think a lot of what you said is going to be super helpful for a lot of upcoming musicians out there.
Hope
And
so too.
yeah, so, as a country, what I've noticed is that, when it comes to music or any other sort of entertainment, America has always sort of set the gold standard, right? Like we were all watching like Miley Cyrus and like, we grew up on like, and we still like look at America as like, oh, you set, the latest trends in music. And,
Yeah.
Bollywood has, is notorious for, plagiarizing a lot of American tunes, Western tunes. Do you ever see that a role reversal happening there? Because now that I look at the indie scene, there are so many people, like you mentioned, folk music, and you are someone who I know you take old music and you like give it a modern twist, and that's
Yeah.
insanely creative. Like I love seeing that. And there's
Yeah.
so many like Indian artists right now who are doing very, very interesting things, and this is
Yeah.
original music that we're creating. Do you ever see
Yeah.
that going international? Because some of it is really good quality.
Yeah. So okay, if you go to US or UK, the only music people there have heard from India is the Punjabi music, right? And Punjabi music right now is booming.
Yeah.
Why? Because they love their culture, they love the roots that they come from, right? They value their language so much that they want to make it international, and which is why so many people relate India to Punjabi music. But India is not only Punjabi music. There is Tamil music, there is music from Odisha, there's music which is from Rajasthan, right? But I think we have closed ourselves to community, to group, to it's like, you know, in classroom how you used to have the cool kids, and then you had the nerd kids, and then you had kids who are emo kids. That's what
Yeah.
basically India is doing right now. We are categorizing ourselves so much, and we're just taking so much of Western influence that you have forgotten your roots. And to be very honest, I'm a person who's been working with folk artists for quite some time. When I was 15, my first album was on Basveshwar. But I don't know if you heard of Baswana.
I haven't heard of
Uh,
it. Tell me about it.
okay, so like Kabir, you know how Kabir has written Dohe, right, which are basically two-liners. Same thing in South India, we have somebody called Baswana. He was a philosopher. He was a minister in King's Court. He was the he wrote something called the Vachana. Vachanas are nothing but 4 to 5 lines of poetry.
Okay.
And he's the man, because of him Lingayat, the whole community of Lingayat started, right? But he did not create it. He is basically a man who believes that you don't harm anybody, you let people live in peace, look at your own shit than pointing shit out of people. So the kind of vachanas that he wrote was so universal. It did not go to like a particular community. It did not belong to like only Hindu people or to only Christian people. No, it was a very universal message that he used to write down. And my family is not a Lingayat, but I felt that his teachings are so important. We have learned about Kabir. We have learned about Rabindranath Tagore. He's written poems, right? So why not bring out even our South Indian culture and put it out into a whole international level, right? So I was the first one to, still today, Baswana Vachanas has been sung only in classical music, okay?
Oh,
Which is why only old people listen to it, which is why young people have no idea who Baswana is. Do you know that Baswana had just 4 years back, in front of Thames River in London, Baswana's a statue has been built and
oh
was
wow.
inaugurated by the London mayor,
My
and
God.
nobody even knows of it. And why? Do you know why he was inaugurated there? Because he's the first guy to even bring the concept of parliament in the world. Today, there's a parliament
Oh
in every country across the world because the concept was brought in by Baswana.
my
So
God.
we know so little about our heritage, and yet we are so cocky about it. Like we think that being Indian is so and so, but no, it's from a grass, like it's a root level thing.
Yeah.
Get back to your culture, get back to your roots, because there is so much to put out there. So that's why Americans are just like whatever they are, because they're just bringing out the culture of whatever it is out there. Rock and roll came from the whole Western culture. Jazz came from Western culture. Blues, okay, no, I wouldn't say blues is from Western culture. It's because black people who were prisoners back during the days of slavery, that's when the whole blues came into, because that's how they would communicate with each other. So when everybody else is harnessing their roots, what is wrong with us? Why are we copying, something like, I don't know. I mean, we just need to really appreciate our roots. We really need to
Yeah.
appreciate our culture. So, which is why one of my songs, like the 5 songs that I'm putting out in the coming months, one of the songs is something that my granddad wrote in the 1960s.
Oh
He
wow.
wrote a folk song, basically about an alcoholic. Okay, it's really fun, a super fun song. It's about how an alcoholic is so in love with his alcohol that he ruins all his relationships, just because he loves alcohol. It's very funnily put.
I think it'll be
So
very
I think
relatable.
that Yeah, which is why I thought, you know what, I should take my grandfather's song and convert it and make it into a little bit newer version of it, because it's a fun song. Youngsters definitely relate to alcohol and liquor or whatever. And the language, because I come from Uttar Karnataka, which is Hubli, Dharwad. So I come from the border of Karnataka and Maharashtra. So my culture has the mix of both Karnataka and Maharashtra, I think, where that's also where Bhimshen Joshi came from, who's a very famous Hindustani classical singer. Gangubai Hangal, who's a very, very famous, what a voice she has. These are all people who come from that kind of culture. So I really want to I want to make India cool again. I want to make Kannada cool again. So I'm really working towards bringing out my culture out there and making it cool all over again.
Amrapali,
Yeah.
you are cool all the time. Those are absolutely like incredible ideas, and I can't wait to see that. I completely agree with you. There is so much incredible Indian folk music, and you're right. Youngsters, although like there's nothing wrong with like celebrating Western music because it is good. But you're right. We definitely need to stop for a second and just appreciate our own culture and heritage as well because this is who we are. This is where we came from.
Because everybody else is bringing out their own culture, right?
Yeah.
Hip hop is bringing out hip hop comes from the whole black community,
Yeah.
right? Jazz comes from the black community. Rock and roll is again fine, a little bit of from the white scene, but psychedelic music is coming from the hippie community. Everybody is bringing out their roots.
Mhm.
What is wrong with us? When Punjabis can make it international, I think every other language in India can make it international,
Yeah,
and it
no
has the
doubt
capability.
about that.
It has the
Yeah,
capability.
amen to that. Honestly, that is an incredible initiative, and I cannot wait to hear the songs that you're going to release. Hopefully, we'll get to hear them very soon. But honestly, Amrapali, it's been such a joy to speak with you. You have so many incredible ideas, and you have such an ocean of knowledge. I've learned so much, within this hour-long session that we've had, and I'm definitely gonna like take this and use it as a reference for me to actually study more about my heritage because you are right. I will try and take the initiative to learn a little more about like Indian music, and I hope that everyone else listening also tries to explore Indian folk music more because there's a treasure in there. So thank you so much, Amrapali. It's been so
Anytime.
wonderful to have you.
So much for bringing me out here, and at least I hope to inspire one woman and not two. Just inspire them to, stop. Just be yourself and put yourself out there. Be fearless as much as you can, because this world is just there to put you down. It just wants to put you down. It's just waiting for you to make one small mistake so that the society can get you married and like tell you to go settle. So don't do that. Be fearless. Be you. Yeah, and you're not less than anybody else out there.
Beautifully put. Thank you so much for those wonderfully motivating words. You are such an inspiration. More power to you always. And just keep
You
going. We're so
too, and thank you
excited.
so much for creating a space like this. More power to you for creating a space like this, and I hope you all the best in whatever you guys are putting up. And I'd love to be as much as part of it in any way I can help. Please make me part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Always welcome. This is a open space for anyone and everyone to voice their thoughts and really try and create a space for equality, true equality. And yeah,
Absolutely.
it's so lovely that you're coming out and you're voicing all of these beautiful opinions. I really think you're inspiring a lot of people, and it's just wonderful. Keep doing what you do.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
hope to talk to you
absolutely.
very soon. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks, Amrapali. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much
You too.
again. Yeah. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.